You know what time it is? It's time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Welcome to the Bit Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Big shout outs to everybody that's listening right now on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, or wherever you're listening to. Also, don't forget, if you want to see the video recording of this show, make sure you go to thebitscoopwithcoop.com where you can catch episodes from season 1 all the way now. Also, you can catch me on Facebook, facebook.com/thebitscoopwithcoop. Also on Instagram, IGTV, baby. You can catch me there at Big Scoop with Coop, and on YouTube at The Bit Scoop with Coop. So, guys, of course, season 7, like I said, is still going strong. Big things are going on. Big names are coming on, and it is going great. And today is no different. I do actually have a good guest that's coming on. He's actually done a lot of things in the movie industry and television industry. You've seen him on shows like Knight Rider. You've seen him on Tyler Perry, The Have and Have Nots. And we will actually talk about what else he actually have going on at the same time, people. So make sure you do tune in. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your associates, even tell your haters to make sure they tune in to this episode right here. Like I said, guys, and also if you have any questions I'm about to tell you who the guest is in a minute. But if you have any questions at all for my guest, I'm going to let you know who it is. You can type them down there, right below, and I'll try to read some of the questions also that I have going, that you all put up there. So, guys, today's guest who I have is actually Peter Parros. You've seen him on, like I said, once again, you've seen him on The Knight Rider. He played as RC3. He's played as Street Avenger. You also seen him as David Harrington for the people that watch The Have and Have Nots. So if you have any questions about the show, if you have any questions about what's going on with him, this will actually be your chance to actually tune in and do what you and ask the questions that you want to actually be that you want to ask them. So guys, like I said, we actually have big things going on. I'm going to actually bring them on in 1 second. Give me 1 second. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're prepared for this show because I know I am, and I will actually have Peter Parros on the show, like I said, doing big things. So we just wait for him to actually hit the accept button to come on the show, and then we will have this thing started. So, like I said, think of your questions that you want to ask, and this is your chance to ask whatever you want to ask him. I will try to only do a few questions, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to read everybody's question. But we'll also talk about how you can follow him on Instagram and what else he's actually got going on in projects that's actually coming up. So as soon as he hit accept, we will have this show going on. Let's see here. 1 second, people. All right, Peter is going to hit accept up there, and we're going to have you on, man. And like I said, season 7, people going big, and we're going to see what's going on with Peter. If you have any family members right now that watch this show, any associates that watch this show, make sure, once again, make sure you tell them to tune in right now at MCOOP317. And we will actually have this thing kicked off. Now, while we're waiting for him to actually come on, I will let you know I was a big fan of Knight Rider. And I loved it when he came on there, RC3. He actually helped build Kit. He did a lot of things to actually repair Kit. I want to see if he remembers that episode also. So, like I said, big things we'll have to talk about, and we'll actually have him on. So, any questions that you have for Peter, make sure you type them below. So, I hope you want to like this show. Let's see here. All right, Peter, going to I see what you said. Going to try to connect on again. I sent you up there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Peter Parros. How you doing
Hey,
today?
hey, good, Coop. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. How's your day going so far?
All righty, carrying on.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Now,
So trying to figure out this technology. So finally connected here. Let me figure out
yes,
what's up.
man, Peter, it's an honor to
Uh,
have you on the show. I was telling people that was watching, you're doing big things.
all
You
right, cool.
started your
Thanks.
career at an early age. And I'm gonna let you tell the story also about how your parents done big things also, your mom
Oh yeah,
and what your dad have done also. Being the first
yeah.
Marine. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to even tell this story. This is going to be your story to tell. But Peter, let's
Okay.
go on and start this thing off for you. When did you first realize that you wanted to become an actor?
Actually, I got into acting relatively late, I guess you could say, in my career. After high school, I had a summer job. I thought I was going to be a dental technology, which is what
Wow.
my dad does, and then got a job working for a company that built miniatures for movies. And
Mm,
that's really how I got into it, kind of from the other side, working on some sci-fi shows. And we did a show called Project UFO, the hand props for the first Star Trek movie. And that
whew,
was just all really exciting to me, more so than teeth. Sorry, Dad, but that was the case. So I have a cousin that's an actor and got into theater through him, and then got an agent, mostly television, commercial stuff, and then it kind of built from there. I heard you
wow.
mention Knight Rider a little earlier. That was my big break. Knight
Yes.
Rider in '85, RC3.
Yep.
But
Street
yeah, yeah,
Avenger.
yeah. That's it. That's it. So it
See,
was
I've
all
been
good.
following for a hot minute.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun job. I loved that.
I
So
believe it. Yes.
yeah.
Now, Peter, we see that you said that you started late and everything, but you did get into the
Mhm.
industry. What hurdles did you go through as an actor when you first started to get to where you are today?
Uh, I think it was just coming in late experience. I didn't do it in school and high school and all that. So just learning a technique, doing theater. At that time, there were only really three major networks: ABC, NBC, CBS. So the number of roles were kind of limited, I guess you could say, relative to what now there's umpteen channels, it seems like, and there's a lot more stuff. But very fortunate to work in commercials and daytime, some stuff early on that helped me get a feel for it. Doing a lot of theater, which I enjoyed. So
Nice.
and it's just being persistent. I think a big part of it is just being persistent. In the beginning, it was hard to get an agent because I didn't have experience,
Right.
but it's all come along pretty well. So I can't complain.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now, in your early start, did you have any mentors that actually help you out on the way from day one?
Um, Just I have my cousin that helped me in terms of getting into a theater company, and my theater actors or my teachers for acting, and
Yes.
that was it. A place, it doesn't exist anymore. It's called American Theater Arts,
Oh
but
wow.
that was a place that they had scene study classes, speech, movement, mime, a lot of different kind of classes to help with your get your technique together. For a little while there, I had a guy, his name was Dennis Durney, and he's actually passed now,
Oh
but he
my.
had kind of helped me, just giving me some guidance in the industry. He was kind of I guess you'd say, a management type of person. So, yeah, but kind of smaller, not a big agency kind of thing, but somebody who kind of gave me some tips and pointed me in the right direction. So,
Now,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen that's watching right now, as you heard from Peter right now, as you see, you don't have to start in a big agency to get
No.
to a goal that you want to get to in life or even in acting in general. It's all about putting the work in and actually having confidence in yourself and see where it actually takes you. Make sure everybody, if you have any questions, once again, for Peter, make sure you type them right here down below. I will try to read a
Okay.
few of them to you.
I'm
Of
trying to
course,
talk and read at the same time. I see a lot of people joining and asking. I haven't
yes.
done this kind of thing before, so
Hey,
it's kind of fun to check out. But and I see a
yes.
couple people asking about David. We'll get to that. But yeah,
Yes, we are.
hopefully,
Yes.
David ain't gonna take too much stuff from Veronica, but too much more stuff, I should say. He's taking a lot of junk, but somehow
Man,
he
yes, he
survived.
is. He
But
is, yes. Now, do you feel like it's harder to become an actor now compared to 20, 30 years ago?
no, I don't think it's harder. It's an interesting question. I don't know if it's um, easier or harder to make a living as an actor now. There's more work, but it doesn't necessarily pay as much. Like
Yeah.
commercials back then, if you got a national spot, you could get one or two of those a year and do pretty well. But now with cable and the way they break down the payments, so I think that's harder. There's a lot more opportunities for work to build a resume than I
Mhm.
think there used to be before. So that's good. And paying, but they have different with the union. There's a scale that you get paid in union, and now they have what they call low budget and ultra low budget, where it could be like $100 a day, where it used to be a minimum, say like $400 or $500 a day. So I think there's more work, but in certain ways it's can be more challenging, I think, to make a living solely as an actor than it used to be when I was
Wow.
starting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
So
I want to take you back to the 80s real quick. Peter,
okay,
let's talk about some of the days of Knight Rider. And
Knight
ladies and
Rider.
gentlemen, we're gonna get to the have and have nots. So just be patient, but you have to hear the story on how Peter started and the things he's done to get up to where he's at now. Now, on Knight Rider, 85, I was a kid. 85, 86, I was about 6 years old then. But I never tried to miss an episode on USA.
You're
I was
making me feel
watching.
old, man. Okay. What are
No,
you talking about? You were 6 years old.
man, I
Oh
was
man.
6 years old in
All
86.
right.
I was.
Okay.
And, I used to love watching the show. And I remember you came in probably, and I'm going off the top of my head with this, I want to say season 3, season 4, somewhere in that
Season
area.
4. Yeah, yeah.
Season 4.
1985, season 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, how was it coming in as the quote unquote new guy onto Knight Rider and fitting
Okay.
right in?
Well, for me, it was great. Knight Rider I say, is my big break. So at the time, I was also working as a office clerk with a law firm. So when I got Knight Rider, that allowed me to be an actor full time. So I was happy to be able to quit my regular job and be an actor. Everybody was great. It was a little bit, probably the first 4 episodes was a little weird. I did the first episode. They weren't sure how much I was they were gonna have my character in, so I wasn't in the second episode at all. And then
Right.
from the third episode on, I was in, but everybody was trying to figure out who I was gonna take time from. People, I'm looking at these comments on ages minus 11 and 85. Oh, come on now,
See,
yeah.
I started something.
But
Peter. Started
yeah.
something.
But generally, everybody, I think in the beginning, there was a little bit of tension about who is this guy and what is he going to do. Edward Mulhare was great. I was a big fan of his from this show called The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. I used to watch as a kid that he was on before Knight Rider and all that. So it was exciting to be working with him. David was a lot of fun to work with. Patricia was fun. A little bit, I remember David tripped a little bit. They put me in a tight T-shirt, and he was like, "Come on now, don't you can't have him with those shirts anymore." But overall, it was great. It was great fun. It was a great experience. I loved the action, fighting, riding a motorcycle, all the
Yep.
stuff that RC was. It was really a great experience, and like I say, a little bit rough in the beginning, but probably halfway through the season, everybody was really cool. So
I still remember that hoopty that you had to ride where the muffler kept popping. Every time
oh
you was
yeah, yeah,
riding, you had to
yeah,
give it to David, the drive, the
yeah,
kit was getting
yeah,
rebuilt. I
right,
still remember all
right.
that. That was crazy.
Yeah,
Really
yeah, yeah.
crazy.
And
Yes.
RC had his little line, supper in the back seat and mama home hungry. So that was his. That was his. Got to get there fast.
Yes.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
That was a cool character. RC Street Avenger, all
Hmm.
that. In fact, it's funny. I was just in Atlanta last month. In the last month, they had a Knight Rider convention out there. So that was
Wow.
exciting to see kit cars, and a couple people had built. Part of the big thing for this character was he built a convertible, made Kit go convertible,
Yep.
Super Pursuit mode, and all this. And some
Yep.
people had actually built convertible kit cars. So that was exciting to see some of the cars that people had there. It was real good.
Nice. Nice. Now, how
Yeah.
excited were you when you found out that you got a recurring role on Night
Oh,
when you found out?
oh, I was loving it. I was love. In fact, interesting little bit of trivia. The casting, it came down to myself and Blair Underwood
Huh.
as the RC character, and he actually is in that episode was called Night of the Juggernaut,
Yep.
and there's some street characters that are trying to steal Kit when Kit is parked on the car, and one of them is Blair Underwood.
It sure
So I
was.
got the RC role, and then he got that role, and of course later went on to do LA Law and all that stuff, which came down to me and him as well, and he got that one.
Wow.
So I
Big
ain't feeling
shout
sorry
outs.
for him.
Hey.
You got a great role, and I
Yes.
definitely got a great role, great experience with Knight Rider.
Big shout outs to Blair Underwood if you're watching. And man, you doing big things just like how Peter's doing big things. Now,
Yeah.
how one more question about Knight Rider. How was the environment when the camera was not rolling with the cast and crew?
Oh, it was great. Like I say, David Hasselhoff is crazy funny. So he was always joking on set, and he used to like to joke. There's something they call slating at that time when the camera is rolling, and they'll mark a slate, which is that little clapboard thing that you
Yeah.
see that has all the information on it, and then you go into the scene. And he used to like to crack jokes right before slating and get me laughing. So sometimes supposed to be a serious scene. We're heading off somewhere, and he'll crack a joke, and I'll be a little bit like trying to
Oh my
be
God.
trying to get myself together. So he used to like to kind of mess with me a little bit that way. But it
Nice.
was, like I say, it was great fun. We were on location all around LA, shooting different places, and
Hmm.
like I say, got to ride the motorcycle. They taught me to drive a semi for the show, so it was
Wow.
all positive stuff. It was
Um,
really good.
I'm kind of mad that you and Patricia was not in that movie Night Rider 2000. I just had to throw that in the
Well,
side note.
okay, so we got to do a Knight Rider 2020 or 2050 or something,
Man,
and I'll be ready for that. But yeah, they've had a couple remakes, and I'm waiting for
yes.
them to call RC,
Hey, it's
and I'll
coming.
be ready. I'll be ready.
Studios, if you're watching, make sure you call him. Bring him in. Please bring him
That's
in.
it. That's
Now,
it.
what a lot of people want to hear about now. Far as you, Peter, how did you think the Have and Have Nots was going to be as popular as it is now when it first started?
Um, I knew I felt like it would be I say historic television,
Okay.
um, and I didn't know that it would be as big as it is because at the time the network wasn't doing that well. Oprah Winfrey Network was the ratings weren't that great. We're like the top show on the network now.
Yes.
So my agent and manager actually discouraged me from doing the show because they were like, it's not, it's a new thing, the network. We don't know if it's going to be around. You're taking yourself out from other projects. But I was like, it's Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey, and it's his first dramatic series, which I've always enjoyed his stuff like Daddy's Little Girl, I Can Do Bad All by Myself. I said the movies are great. I want to see what he's going to do with some drama because I've always wanted to work with him, but don't consider myself really a comedic actor, even though I've
Mhm.
done some comedy stuff. So when the opportunity came, I was just excited to work with him, and that the show has blown up the way that it has, and people respond to the character, the David character, who I was very different when I first read for it. David was a certified financial planner, and it was just
What?
Veronica's husband. it was a small role. And by the time the scripts had actually come around, the first scripts, David was an attorney. He was a judge and partners with Jim in trying to get elected and doing all that stuff. So it's become a great thing. The fan response is just amazing. We have the most passionate fans to this show that I
Yes.
have ever experienced in my career. And I
So
think it's just the way that Tyler writes the show. It's I like to say it's scream at your TV kind of show. Like be like, oh my, I can't believe these people would do. So there's always something that somebody is. He writes it in a way that the characters never do what you want them to do when you want them to do it.
That's
It's
true.
always after. It like builds to that point of frustration, and I think he just works that balance great that really gets people going about the show and talking about the show and waiting to see what's going to happen next week. He writes some great cliffhangers,
He
so
does.
that's yeah. So it's great. It's love it.
So how was it when you first met Tyler Perry? How was your interaction with him?
It was cool. The first meeting happened in the casting process when he came out to LA for the casting. And it was interesting because it was theater style, which means when you do theater, it's like all the actors for the part are in the room sitting there seeing you audition, which is not something was used to for TV. For theater stuff, yeah, TV, usually you go in one at a time and everybody's out in the waiting room. So that was interesting, kind of having that experience of being in the room and they say, okay, we'll try this. All right, great, thank you. You stay, everybody else can go. And that was kind of like, that
Wow.
was a fun, yeah. It was wild. But it was good. Obviously, it turned out to be a positive experience when we went to LA or Atlanta from LA to the casting was in LA. We shoot in Atlanta. And that experience was great. Tyler was really cool. Actually, that first season, also Oprah came out on the set. Just surprising how, like, low-key approachable they both were, given their status. It was very open, very, very receptive. In fact, Tyler had a gathering at his home before we started shooting just to talk
Nice.
about what the show was going to be and the direction we were going. So it was all good. It's been an interesting journey.
Yes.
From the beginning, I thought the Harringtons were going to be like the Obamas, kind of that kind of thing. It took a left turn at the end of the first season.
Yeah,
So,
it did.
but it's been great. It's been great.
Yes. Now, I will tell you something. Now, I had Priscilla on the show. And for the people who don't know who
Okay.
Priscilla is, that's Erica that
Yeah.
played as David's lover, one of David's lovers on the show. Now,
Yeah.
when me and Priscilla was talking, I told her, I asked her, I said, are you really dead on this show? She said, yes. And I told her, and she said, maybe we need to throw this at Tyler. And I'm going to tell you what I told her. I said, you know how on Empire, how they kept showing the ghost of the oldest son, wife kept coming back or whatever. And I was like, are you sure that you really got burnt up in that car? She was like, yeah, we saw the body. I said, you know what, you might pop back up. You never know. But, and that's cool. I'm sorry, Priscilla. I know you watching.
She's watching.
Yeah, I know you watching. I'm being nice.
Oh, that's funny. Hey there, Priscilla.
But you never know. She might pop back up.
You never know. That's it. He could be fantasizing about her. Anything could happen.
Yep, Angela might get pushed that pool again. You never know.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
No.
Man,
yeah. But Veronica is giving David no breaks on his love life. Anybody he seemed like he might be connected with, she takes out of the picture. So
yes,
it would only be the ghost,
wow.
The ghost of Erica.
Wow. I'm sorry, Erica. I
So
had to bring it up.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's all right.
But
That's good.
now,
It
a
was
lot of
great
people would,
working with her.
yes.
Go ahead.
Now, we know the season has ended. And
Hmm.
I believe you all are working on a new season now, or probably finished the new season. Now, without giving anything away, can you say that where would you rank this season that's coming up? Would you rank it as one of the best seasons coming up in your opinion? Or is it tied up with the rest of the seasons as far as it goes for excitement and drama?
As far as, well, it's interesting. First, I'll say I don't know how they will cut the seasons in terms of the way they edit the episodes.
Mhm.
So sometimes the way he writes them isn't the way they air them. As I
Oh,
recall, the last season ended with Veronica, when we shot it, ended with Veronica being drowned.
really?
But that was like 2 or 3 episodes before the end, this in terms of how they
Right,
aired it.
right.
So I will say this: every time love Ben, that's as the world turns throwback. Um, thank you, thank you. But whenever we get the scripts, I'm always amazed that Tyler takes it up a notch. At the end of
Mhm.
every season, I go, okay, so how are you going to top this next season? And then he comes back with something that tops it. Or like I go, like, okay, so where are you going to go from here? Because you've already gone to some kind of craziness level. Like, what is it gonna? What is Veronica gonna come up with
Right,
next time? Like, and how do you sustain this level of drama? And somehow he comes up with stuff that makes me go, oh wow, this is okay. It works. Or it's weird. Sometimes we've had to go back and fill in episodes um, just because of the way the show is ordered.
right.
So it's really interesting. So I have to say that it always goes up as a
Okay,
season. It always goes up. Every now and then there's a couple slow episodes or something like that.
right.
But I think the overall arc of the seasons improves every time in terms of what's
Wow,
happening with the story. So I'm
wow.
happy. I'm like I love what I love the growth that David has gone through and the changes that David has gone through. So I have a lot of fun playing the character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to everybody that's been on the Have and Have Nots and is still on the Have and Have Nots. Peter, you make sure you go back and tell everybody I said what's up also. That's
All
on the show.
righty.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Now,
I'll do it.
for everybody that's watching right now, Peter, can you name some of the other shows? Because I see people are doing it in the comments, so I will let you do it.
Okay.
Can you name some of the other shows that you've been in throughout your career, shows or movies?
Guessed it on a lot of, well, I've guessed it on a ton of stuff, but the kind of regular stuff, Knight Rider, like you mentioned, just after that, we did a remake of Adam 12. So it was
Mhm.
called The New Adam 12, which was a police show that was syndicated. Um, I did Young and the Restless for a while, was recurring as Leo the bartender on that. Had a short recur on Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Did One Life to Live, took me to New York. Did New
Wow.
York Undercover there. Did As the World Turns for about 7 years there.
Hmm.
Came back out here, guested on shows like Castle or CSI Miami. Recently did a Lethal Weapon. A bunch of different, hanging with Mr. Cooper
Yep.
227 back in the day.
Yep.
Um, what else? Just a lot of different shows. Fortunate to have been working, doing a lot, mostly television stuff, a little bit of film work, but that's been my story. It's funny. I'm going blank on different stuff that I've worked on, but it's been a great career. Very, very fortunate.
Yes. Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen, make sure you Google his career. If you want to see what he's done totally, Google it. It's going to
yeah.
pop up. I mean, it's a long resume. It's going to take about 2 more shows to even him name everything that he's done around here. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, I know
Yeah.
you don't have that much time, so just a couple more questions.
Okay.
how can your fans find you or follow you on social media?
Okay, so on Twitter it's at Peter Parros, Parros. Last name, of course. Official Peter Parros on Instagram. Peter Parros on Facebook. Those are the three. I'm really active when the show is going. I like to live tweet during the show, so I don't do as much on social media when the show is not going. Some things here and there I do, but those are the ways to get me. Peter Parros. I know there's a couple fake Peter Parroses on Facebook, so I don't know why people do that. Like, why people would create a page and pretend to be me, but that's it. But I have to say to all my fans, the fans of the show, the have and have-nots that watch, love you all. Appreciate just the support and the love and the passion that we get. It's great. I'm been very blessed to do what I love and have such great positive fans and have such great fun roles. David is a very interesting character that I feel has been kind of a stretch for me. Very different kind of character than any other character that I played. People have asked if David is like me, and I want to tell a quick little story.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
When I auditioned for the show, I spoke in pretty much my regular voice, and like I said, there was a change in terms of who the character was, and the character started out as supposed to be older than John Schneider's character because the opening season was around his 50th birthday,
Right.
And I'm saying, oh, this is what it was like when I turned 50. So I was like, okay, I got to make this guy older. He's not an accountant now; he's a judge. And when I was watching him the first day of shooting, and nobody really had a Southern accent, and I was like, oh wait, we're supposed to be in Savannah, Georgia. I got to come up with something to make this guy seem like he's older, heavier from the South. So I came up with this slower, lower way of speaking, this David Harrington voice.
There you go.
Here, somewhere like this. Yes, Jim, I have to. So I was kind of playing with some stuff, trying it out, and I said, well, let me see what Tyler thinks about this. So I came up with this voice. We shot this scene second day because they didn't get to me the first day. And they were like, okay, great, moving on, love it. And I was like, okay, so what did I just do? Because now I've got to do this. I've got to match this character going on. So there are some times I look at early episodes and I was still trying to find who this David guy was, but that was kind of fun. But it's a very different, just when I get into that David mode, his energy is very different from my energy. And,
Wow.
And so I enjoy that. There was something you had written about RC. The RC character is closer to who I am as a person. But this David character, I have to, even now, he other than when he was with Erica, he would smile. He don't hardly ever smile.
Nope.
He's very, David is very much a serious, my just slowing down and very serious. There's always something wrong that he's trying to fix, always a problem. And so he's a much more thoughtful, slower, lower energy kind of person. So that's
Wow.
the thing. So, you have to transition into this whole thing, and he walks differently. And, especially early on, they had him in the suit and ties, which I loved his style, just that kind of swag that David has. There ain't too many brothers that have that kind of swag. So it's really been a lot of fun, and I'm not normally a suit kind of guy, so it's
Wow.
fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great character to play.
Well,
so.
I'll keep my comments to myself up there because Priscilla is watching right now, so Erica is not going to jump through my phone and choke me. So I'm not going to do that. But I love it. I ain't gonna lie, I loved it. I'm caught up on the seasons also. Now, I do have to ask you this. what advice would you give any male or female that wants to become an actor or actress in the television and movie industry?
Okay. If you feel like you can do anything else, do it. If
Wow.
you feel like there's nothing else you can do, you might have a shot. You have to, it's something that persistence pays off. I remember I was studying to be a dental technician, and my dad was like, well, you should finish school and everything so that in case it doesn't work out, you have something to fall back on. And I said, I can't do it because no, if I have something to fall back on, I'll fall back on it. It's something that I've got to, for me, I was like, I have to approach this in a way that there's nothing else I can do. That if I don't make it as an actor, I'm gonna be jacked up. I have to make it as an actor, and just whatever the work you have to put in, the shows, showcases, photographs, work on your craft, work on your craft, work on your craft. You have to get used to rejection, because if you could get 10% of the jobs that you interview for, then you would be doing well. So 90% of the stuff you're not going to get. So you have to have a thick skin, not take it personal, but be developed enough in your craft and your person that okay, they were looking for something else. You're going to have bad interviews. Even when your skill level is high, something's going to happen. You'll be nervous or whatever. And there'll be interviews that you blow, and you have to let it go and just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And so
Yes.
that's what I would say. Just stay persistent, constantly growing on your craft and everything that you're doing. And
Nice.
by the grace of God, you'll get bigger opportunities, but at least be able to make a living doing what you do. There's something I heard Dave Chappelle say that was really interesting, who, of course, he's done great, huge things. But when he was trying to get into comedy, his dad was like, had asked him he just said he wanted to be successful in comedy. And he said, well, what does that mean? And he said, well, Dad, you're a teacher. And as a teacher, you make $50,000 a year, whatever. So if I can make $50,000 a year doing my comedy, I'll consider myself a success. So it's not
Wow.
necessarily saying, I'm going to make millions and I'm going to if I can make a living doing what I love, if you love acting and you can make a living as an actor, then consider yourself successful or doing whatever it is that you love doing. Sometimes we get this sort of superstar idea, like that's what it means to be a success.
Right.
And that's not necessarily the case. You're successful if you can enjoy what you're doing, make a living.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. Now we have one last segment I want to do with you real quick, and then it's gonna be it. This right here is called Take the Floor. And you kind of done this already, but I'm gonna get you to do it again. Basically, you have up to 2 minutes to say whatever you want to say right now. It's no questions. Whatever's on your mind. It doesn't matter if you just want to thank your fans again or whatever you want to say. The floor is yours. Peter, take the floor.
Take the floor. Oh man, you should have given me some time to prepare for this.
Ah.
Well, first I'll say I've scoped a little bit. When the show is coming back, people are asking. I don't know. I don't know what the network schedule is kind of funny, and I don't know if it's because of the way the cliffhanger was or what happened that they didn't give a return date for the show or what's going on. And sometimes it's 10 episodes, sometimes it's 12 episodes. So I just appreciate the way the fans have stuck with us, and they find us whenever we're coming back. If you follow me on social media, when I hear something and I know that the show is coming back, I will let people know that the show is coming back. I'll say one thing, working with Tyler too, I have come to appreciate the support of fans, because when critics were not supportive of his movies or his plays or whatever, his fans have supported him. And now he has set up a studio there in Atlanta, over 300 acres, that is second to none. Just the quality of the facility that he has, the sound stages he's built from the ground up. So that has been a super positive experience. And one lesson that I have learned from working with Tyler is invest in yourself. So he has, with his plays, and people, a lot of people know his story, going from the plays that he put up that the first several years of plays didn't succeed. For a while he was in his car and finally came back to a level now where he is literally a billionaire. So, and has built a kind of studio that is a great legacy and encouragement to others. So with whatever it is that you're doing, don't let those stumbles, those failures in your head make you quit. You know, keep at it, keep investing in yourself. Don't necessarily look for somebody else to invest in you, but take those finances, that time, that energy that you would want others to put in you, put it in yourself, and make your dream come true, whatever that is. I have some projects, a comic book project, a Christian comic book thing called The Kids of the King, that I've been working on for several years, and I think it's a great project. In fact, you can check it out, kids, KIDZ of the king.com. It used to be somebody else. I'm still working with the creator. Somebody else used to distribute it and stopped doing it, and I picked it up because I think it's a great project. Been working on it for several years. Don't have great distribution yet, but I'm still working. We're making more books, putting it out. And I just believe if it's a quality product that is meeting a need, I think people will respond. And I think with whatever you're doing, figure out how it connects to the need that it meets for other people. But my thing is just stay encouraged, stay prayerful. Grace of God, I've been successful. So I put that behind. Everything is in God's hands. But
Nice. Yes.
That's it. I think my 2 minutes is
All
up.
right. Peter, I want to say, no problem. I want to say thank you once again for coming on the show. And I'd love to have you back on in the future.
All righty. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
I'll connect with you again.
All right.
Thank you all for, I don't know how they watch only live or after, but first time doing it this way. But appreciate you all checking in with us and sharing the time with us.
Oh, they will see it after also and live. So they see it both ways. All right, guys, stay tuned to the next episode. Announcements coming soon who the next guest is. Make sure you catch up with Peter. If you haven't seen all the episodes of the Have and Have Nots, make sure you go on the OWN Network. Check it out. Check out his past shows and movies. Check out the comic. Check out everything. Peter, thank you once again, and you have a great night.
All right, and real quick, because I know there were some questions we didn't get to. Hit me up on Twitter with some questions. Say you were watching, and I'll try and respond to you all there. All right.
Thank you.
Care.
All right.
Bye.
Until next time, people, on the Big Scoop with Coop.